I would hope for Miracle Rogue 2 this time. And well, let's just jump in and see if there's maybe Handlock versus Miracle Rogue, or we see Sunshine Hunter versus Sunshine Hunter, something like that.
Okay, and as you can see, it's a druid, and we have a very aggressive hunter.
Yeah, we see already Freezing Trap, Eagle Horn Bow, Arcane Golem. That's a full face hunter from Elia here, and not a sunshine. We go for Savannah Highmanes, Lion King, everything. No, that's the old school full face. I'm gonna crush you, hunter. Just type charge into your deck builder.
Put everything in.
Put everything with charge in. 2 Eagle Horn Bows. Type trap into your deck builder. Put everything called trap in. And then add 2 Leopard Gnomes and a Leroy, and you're fine. That's the deck Elias playing here. And whoa, the deck is super strong. We have Strifeco here on his druid, or on a druid. We don't know what the druid is going to be like. But we will find out during the game. We already see something interesting in his starting hand we haven't predicted.
There is Acolyte of Pain, and you barely see an Acolyte of Pain in a druid deck.
I don't want to say barely. I want to say
never.
Really not a lot. Like almost never see it. It's absolutely wow. I really don't know what to say here.
But I think it can work, especially against the hunter, because when he goes for his Unleash the Hounds, he needs at least 2 doggy dogs to kill your Acolyte.
That's correct. And he goes for early Harvest Golem here, or well, early Harvest Golem, turn 2 Harvest Golem. That's super good, and it works actually well. And how will Elia answer that whole play?
Acolyte of Pain.
He plays an Eagle Horn Bow and hits
those
face.
are kind of delayed.
Those are kind of delayed. In your opinion, you mean your game runs too fast, but you can fix that because you're the boss.
I know, right?
No problem, Pastorino. He hit the face of Elia here. Strifeco has a pretty good board out for early game action.
Now it should be sort of okay.
It should be sort of okay. I guess so too. Well, we have Strifeco's point of view here, and he gets a Defender of Argus, so he could Argus up those 2 minions. That hurt. He won't do it, but he could just go for 2/4 Acolyte of Pain. That would hurt. And, well, what trap do you expect here? We actually didn't see it, but we know he started with a Freezing Trap, if I'm not entirely mistaken.
No, it's freezing.
That's going to be annoying if you lose your Acolyte of Pain to a Freezing Trap.
I think, like, he's not really that concerned about the card draw, so he just wants a beefy taunt up. So he chose to go for the Acolyte of Pain rather than use the Harvest Golem.
The annoying thing here is Unleash the Hounds, double Hunter's Mark, so he could burst through that Harvest Golem if he really wants to. He also has a tracking to maybe get his Buzzard, so tracking into Buzzard, into Unleash the Hounds, draw 2 cards, use your Hunter's Mark, hit his face with your bow. I see a lot of possible plays here for Elia. The problem is just, is he gonna play it as perfect as he has to play it? So we know Full Face Hunter is considered as an easy deck where you don't have to turn your brain on, but that's only if you're in an easy matchup. Now you're playing against a Druid, and Druids with a lot of taunts, and you actually need to use your brain to win this game, and not just play, yeah, minions, I'm gonna win anyways.
You're gonna win anyway?
I don't see Elia winning here anyways. Easy mode. He has a good hand, but he still needs to do good plays to pull off the game.
And I think Kill Command is the most obvious pick here. And it looks like he's going for the Hunter's Mark play you mentioned.
And we actually see it here. I just want to mention it. It was a 3 mana Unleash the Hounds. So this game is actually pre-patched. We don't see it only because of Unleash the Hounds. We also see it because of the time. There is a time limit for friendly games now. Weep, weep. Hype. And if you're still confused by those different resolutions here, some screens stretched, some screens not, This should be fixed in week 3 of the HearthStone Gentlemen Cup. We actually changed the recording settings those players have to choose to make it better for him. Still, I cannot promise every recording to be perfect, since it's around, well, 1 bazillion games they're recording from 8 teams, 4 players, at least 4 best of 3s in every, maybe 5. That's quite a lot of games to be recorded, and mistakes happen. I'm just saying, mistakes happen.
Mistake. Uh-huh. That was funny.
And now Elia is in trouble. He's not able to kill here that 4/6 minion. Well, he is, but he needs to waste his second Hunter's Mark, or kill command Arcane Golem, or Leroy.
But
And
you don't want to use Arkham Golem if you cannot finish. Arkham Golem is something you 90% of the time you use it as a finisher.
or like turn 8, turn 9,
Yeah,
where that
okay.
mana point is not making such a great difference as it would if you give him 1 mana crystal plus now, and he actually can play a turn 6 for 7 mana Ancient of Lore. And you really don't want to see that.
Basically, you give him a free wild growth.
Absolutely. Will you go for Leroy? Kill that 4/6? I cannot imagine that to happen.
I think he... Oh, wow. He's doing it.
Just to get the Taunter away, do those 3 extra damage. I mean, he has 7 damage without a beast at the moment on his hand. 13 damage on his enemy left. But as we know, it's a pretty good hand for Strife Crow too. He can just play another Druid of the Claw.
Yep.
And we know, well, Hunter's Mark in Elias' hand, but nothing to use it. Like, there's no Unleash, no Stone Tusk Boar, nothing. He can just taunt up and rush enemy's face.
Well, the problem is Elias is in deep trouble. How is he gonna get out of this? I don't see it. He has to play the Leper Gnome and attack the face and hope that he can somehow manage to kill him.
Oh, you really want to get an Unleash?
Yeah.
And then Unleash, Hunter's Mark, Kill
Unleash
Command?
would be... No, wouldn't be enough next round.
Unleash for 3 is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
If you want to play Unleash, Kill Command, Arcane Golem, whatever. So it's kind of a lot of cards you have to play. Yeah. He needs it to actually trigger his Kill Command, and he needs it to get rid of that 4/6 minion. There's now, for Strife Crow, 8 damage on the board with a Roar. So we see a Force of Nature in his hand. We know there should be a Roar in his deck. With 8 damage on the board and a Roar, that would actually be 16 damage plus hero, 18 plus hero ability, 19 possible damage if he only gets 1 Roar.
Raw would be lethal now, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. Never mind.
But he gets a Sun Fury Protector. He can just armor up his Ancient Watcher if he really wants to, or just heal himself up by 5. A lot of options possible. I would say Taunt Up or Heal kind of the better place here.
I think I would prefer Taunt Up and use your hero ability as well to gain armor.
Like super duper getting out of danger zone mode. He chooses to heal himself, deal another 7 damage. Your enemy is down to 14, and you got, well, 12 damage on the board, plus an Ancient Watcher, plus Force of Nature, Keeper of the Grove, plus Force of Nature. That's enough damage to pull off a win here next turn. And, well, Elia needs, well, Explosive Trap. he doesn't need it, but it could keep him alive here.
At least for 1 more turn.
And so the 3 minions to the right should die. Yeah, those 3 minions will die. The most annoying thing is if he actually goes for Force of Nature before triggering the trap.
Nah, you wouldn't do that.
That shouldn't happen to Strife Crow.
No way.
But you can always have a bad day, or just not focus enough and just...
Yeah, true. But I don't expect that to happen.
I really don't expect it to happen too, and it would be devastating.
I think he will most likely just attack with the Whelpling to, yeah, in case it's a misdirection or freezing trap, and he will see it's a what?
Well, he wants to do bonus damage. He can also silence his Keeper of the Keeper's Grove, Druid of the Claw, and negates the.
Oh, that was nice.
That was nice. He just negates the Hunter's Mark here, gets him back to 6, which is funny. Never forget that that's possible. Deals some damage here, not only some, 9. And then, well, places Sun Fury Protector. And as you see, the time limit is almost running every turn. So those players are actually in trouble making their plays in time. And I think that's more interesting in a friendly game if you don't have infinite time, because in ladder you wouldn't have infinite time too. In a tournament there's sometimes, well, at Take TV Seed Story Cup we actually made a slight time limit, so the players don't exceed everything and make 10-minute turns. So time limit, in my opinion, was really important for the competitive play of Hearthstone. I like it, not only to make everything go a bit faster, just to make those players struggle to not, I have 10-minute times, I can just look for the perfect play. Now they have to think even faster to make good plays and can make mistakes in that time. But here, Strifecrow didn't make any mistake, and he will most likely just end the game. Well,
yeah, he killed himself. Manly. Harakiri.
The deck screen here. We have 1-0 for Strifecrow against Elia. The Hunter is X'd out for Elia, and he still has, as we mentioned, Shaman and Warlock left. And we will just jump right into the game and see what's happening here. And, well, the funny thing is, your game file wasn't paused. My game file is a wrong one. And we will just prefer those game files again.
That's some major failure on both of our parts.
Now, I would say only on your part. My part was entirely okay. So, Timo, bring us in here.
Go.
You can do it. We trust in you. Good job. Well done. Just show the picking screens different. Thank you, Timo. We see Strifecrow on his route again, obviously, and finally an Innervate. So we haven't seen an Innervate last game. And for Elia, it's the Handlock.
What are you doing, Timo?
Timo broke everything.
He's trolling us.
No, he's not. He's just confused by his keys. So many keys. What you hit.
So many X keys.
So Strifecrow has a pretty nice, well, I wouldn't say super nice starting hand, since he's kind of doomed until turn 3. There he can actually play the first minion with an Innervate. And we see already a Mountain Giant for Elia. That's what I said. If you get your Giants out early, and he can even follow up with a Yeti. That's super annoying. So turn 3, maybe Ursan Ring Farseer or Ancient Watcher. Then there's a Giant as Mountain Giant incoming,
and then
followed by Yeti. Super annoying. That's really don't want that to happen.
I think he will Shadow Bolt the Azure Drake.
I think I will follow your predictions here and just tell you that he will Shadow Bolt the Azure Drake.
Wow. You're a prophet.
Absolutely. Good thing here for Strifecrow, Yeti in his hand. So he can just follow up with another beefy minion. Feels kind of good, I would say. Does well here, but Elia has the answers prepared with a Mountain Giant. Just ends his turn and goes for, well, GG, Strifecrow. Deal with my Mountain Giant here.
Yeah, how is he gonna? He has to use the swipe. Well, he could also tank 8 damage, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because that hurts.
You wouldn't recommend attacking into a mountain?
Nope.
That's a giant too.
Never hit a brick wall.
Never hit a brick wall.
It's one lesson I learned when I was younger. That explains quite a bit, I guess.
So he could swipe, as you quoted, or Raz. Maybe keep the Raz for late game so he can draw a card with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do here, I guess. I would think about, well, Raz, if he plays an Iron Beak Owl on his Ancient Watcher, could be better.
He's actually going
Straight for the face. No regrets here for Strifecrow.
no regrets.
Well, with his swipe, with the Force of Nature and the Argent Commander, he can actually go for the rushy play if your enemy is not having a
What?
Mountain Giant.
What? He
Well-
attacked the giant and didn't kill it.
If he attacks his Yeti now, it would die. But you don't know that your enemy is holding an Earthen Ring Farseer.
That's true.
It's true. It wasn't... There was no wrong play from Strifecrow here.
That's just I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming.
He just brought him down to 4 HP. If there is no Earthen Ring Farseer or anything on your enemy's side, you actually played everything correct. But if something like that is incoming, then, well, you're screwed a little bit.
Yeah, only that.
And it will hurt if that brick wall runs over your Yeti.
Do you think he's gonna focus a Yeti or go for Strifecrow?
You could also do the same Strifecrow did, just go for their face. Wouldn't change a lot here. Still, Strifecrow needs to kill that giant. The only advantage I see going on the Yeti is your Earthen Ring Farseer will survive and not get crushed by a Yeti, for example. And there's a time limit again. Players really exceeded and run into trouble doing their plays in time. He goes for the Twilight Drake. Safe mode.
Yep. But now the Argent Crusader is going to work.
The Argent Commander is going to clear
not
off
Crusader,
the Mountain
damn.
Giant.
I guess.
That's the also famous Argent Crusader again. You still have to tell us which card that is.
It's not a card actually. I think it's the Scarlet Monastery or whatever.
Yeah, it's when the
called.
Scarlet Crusader makes a baby with the Argent Commander. And well, you're thinking about new legendary cards. I see what you're doing here.
Yep.
You're just making up random names,
It's not random. It's from WoW.
hoping some Blizzard guy listens to you.
That would
and
be
then-
amazing.
And you're like, you owe me $1 bazillion now because you took my name.
Yep. Gonna get the copyright.
Seems to be a perfect plan to get rich.
So what would be the perfect plan for Strifecrow now?
Well, he needs to kill the Mountain Giant. He cannot risk taking 12 damage next turn, for example. If he goes full face mode, he could deal 10 damage and win next turn, maybe. But yeah, it's kind of risky to not kill the Mountain Giant. There's double Hellfire in your enemy's hand, for example. There could be a Soulfire too. He goes for the face. Strifecrow's playing.
What? Why? Don't end the turn. He didn't attack with a Suntree Protector. Ah, that's why. Because he doesn't want to. Okay.
Summon Molten Giant.
Yeah, exactly. I was confused for a second.
So if there's a Molten Giant incoming now, it still costs 4 mana.
Yep.
Kind of expensive. Well, he will just Hellfire here and clear the board, I would say.
Most likely.
But it's nice to see you confused for a second.
I was like, what? How could he forget? And then I realized that I did forget
You
something.
forget something, and he played everything as he wanted to play it. Still, your enemy is down to 13 HP. Is he going to heal himself up? Or his minion? The good thing, if he heals himself up, swipe a Reno incoming, hero ability clear, for example. That's a possible play here for Strifecrow.
I think next turn there's a huge potential for double Watcher Sun Fury, just to get control.
Super safe mode
Yep.
is Ancient Watcher, Sun Fury, absolutely. Still, Strifecrow has an amazing hand. He could just nuke 6 damage in your face and hope to draw, I don't know, second execute, double execute, turn 8, 8 damage, GG, win the game, easy mode, never talk about it again.
That would be ballsy.
That would be bossy. At the moment, it looks, I would say, rather even, since Strifecrow is able to clear the board with what he has in his hand. But we see that double Ancient Watcher, and that's just a meat wall Elia can establish here. What might Strifecrow do? he will at least access his time limit again.
Yep.
I'm definitely voting for that. But it's tricky to think about the best play here. Yeti, Acolyte of Pain, heal up, card draw, and he goes for the card draw. That's, in my opinion, pretty risky to go for the card draw. I guess I would have healed myself. He's hoping to get that roar, but that's still 2 turns away. 2 turns before he can play it. I don't know if he draws it in 2 turns. And Elia has 7 damage on the board plus a Hellfire, so he could deal 10 damage at the moment. If he drains himself and gets a Soulfire, he can actually win, for example.
But that's super risky. I don't expect him to drain himself.
Yeah, as you quoted before, Ancient Watcher, Sunfury Protector.
If he drops to 11, can he lose? No, never mind. Can't.
Still, Ancient Watcher, Sunfury Protector is absolutely the safest play. Not only to get a meat wall out, you can also deal 7 damage with the minions on the board, have 2 4 5s, and your enemy is not getting near your 7 damage minion that can attack.
Yep, looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Watcher Protector play.
Good job for Elia. And as we see it again, the hand block tends to turn it around into, like, in the late game, since he just has that absolute super annoying taunting potential. But Strifecrow just top decks a Black Knight here. Will it be enough? I would say no.
No.
He should have swiped last turn the Earthen Ring and the Twilight Drake, taken that 4 damage, and now the same board would be there without the right side, and he could just play his Ancient of Lore, heal himself up, be happy with it. And
that
now,
way it's over.
Yeah, now he might have a Black Knight.
Doesn't matter.
He could clear his enemy minion. There is still the swipe, but now the swipe can only kill 1 minion and not 2.
Wait. I think he can actually survive 1 more turn.
Even if he swipes to the left.
Well, there's Jiraxxus and the hit in the face, so it's over in Hellfire, but he could swipe the Azure Drake, and then there would be 5 damage on the board, armor up.
And he would be safe for another turn.
Well, in his universe.
Yeah, in his universe, he would be safe for another turn. But in Elias' universe, Elias already seeing those stars blinking before his eyes, and he's hoping to carry his team eEriness to a win against DogeHouse.
And he chose to not use his Ancient against the Watchers.
Well, it makes no difference at all. There's a GG incoming for Elia. 1-1. Strifecrow versus Elia here. Well played. Strifecrow is going for Hunter. But we don't need to make our minds up around that. We can just jump right into the game and see what both players picked here.
Mine didn't start.
Well, you have to start it now.
That's weird.
It's weird. Are you weird, or is that just weird?
That is weird. Redo. We're gonna redo it.
We're just gonna redo it. I heard Timo talking about it, and we're just gonna redo it. You need to hit the stop button.
I know. Doesn't work.
Now you.
No, I just did it again.
You should kill media player and open up the open right media player again.
I did.
And then pull in the right fight again.
Okay, let's try one more time, guys.
Give me a second. This is live production with recorded games, but still, the show is live.
Nice.
And now
it's working.
everything works once again.
And yeah, we see that you were completely right. Strifecrow is opting for a Hunter.
And he's not opting for only a Hunter. We see 2 Houndmasters in his starting hand. Well, he's obviously mulliganing him. He's going to mulligan him. And he's playing a Sunshine Hunter, if you see 2 Houndmasters. Or that special Hunter we saw on week 1, day 2.
That lost?
That lost, but someone played full face hunter with Houndmasters and high mains. It was a crazy mix-up hunter, but it turned out to be not as bad as we thought. It still lost, but it almost won.
Yeah, it was a close match. I even think it was eEriness. One of eEriness who played it.
Not entirely sure, and we see already a slight difference to the absolute standard Sunshine Hunter. There is an explosive trap in it. That's more or less the newer version here. And wow, good hand for Strive Crow, River Crocolisk, Hyena, Starving Buzzard, and turn 3 Animal Companion. I would say it looks good for him. And for Elia, well,
Nice.
we might have an Ancient Watcher with an Iron Beak Owl, but we don't see, except, well, I wanted to say we don't see any giants. And now he just top decks one. So I didn't say anything. Good hand for Elia here.
And yeah, we see already a Hunter's Mark on the hand of Ekop. Not Ekop, Strive Crow. What am I saying?
Yeah, you're not focused enough. Go into full focus mode, Kai, now.
Full focus mode.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
here.
the Hunter's Mark is obviously the hard counter to the Giant.
And he lost his Molten Giant with the Soulfire. That hurts quite a lot. He gets his Mountain Giant out, but loses a Molten Giant for it. And, well, as you quoted before, we have a Hunter's Mark roaming around here, just waiting to kill that stupid Mountain Giant.
Oh, did you call him stupid? Only because he's out of stone?
No, I just called him stupid because he's 8-8 and annoying.
Okay. Fair enough.
And Elia goes down to 22, and we also see a Tundra Rhino in Strive Crow's hand. So, also, as Nimsh played it, the Tundra Rhino version and not the version with a Stampeding Kodo.
Yeah, they are in the same team, so you would expect them to talk about the decks and, yeah, do just theory crafting.
They did together, I expect, as you said, and, well, we see the work of it. Two similar decks. An Ancient Watcher incoming that can be Iron Beak Owl next turn, and Argus or Sunfury Protectorate.
I would expect an Argus. Because that would make you less vulnerable to Unleash the Hounds as well. If you play the Iron Beak Owl first.
And we see a Tundra Rhino incoming.
There we go.
It could be a problem.
Defend of Argus.
A silence defend of Argus and absolutely kill that Tundra Rhino instantly before it gets nasty.
Scumbag Rhino!
I mean, you really want to kill it. You don't want to get a charged up Starving Buzzard. I mean, that sounds like 2 damage out of nowhere you didn't expect.
It looks rough for Strive Crow.
Well, he can go for tracking and put down his explosive. Leroy, Snapjaw,
Wow,
Timberwolf.
there's a Snapjaw in there.
Well, you don't want to have a 4-9 Oasis Snapjaw against you, I would suggest.
True, but that's the first time I see it played in a Hunter deck.
Not the first time
Like
I see
in competitive play.
Absolutely.
On ladder, you see it, but it's the first time you see it.
It's
in a
kind of
tournament.
unusual here.
Oh, that's rough. That's really rough. Yeah. Unleash the Hounds. Of course, he needs the combo with the card draw. He has a Buzzard, he has a Timberwolf, and now Unleash the Hounds. That's a perfect combo. But we see the match was played on the newer patch, so Unleash the Hounds is already 3 mana.
Well, since we're turn 7, it doesn't hurt him so much. He can play Timberwolf, Unleash Buzzard everything in one turn. He could even play it turn 6. I'm just saying turn 7 because he could play it for 6 mana coin and also use his passive. Good thing here incoming is an explosive trap. Gonna kill that Iron Beak Owl. The other 2 minions survive, but the Ancient Watcher only has 2 HP left. So with a Timberwolf and Unleash the Hounds, he can actually kill that Ancient Watcher and go with the rest of his minions in the face, and he still has a kill command in hand 2, and that's 5 damage.
That's quite a bit of damage. And yeah, Elia is already down to 16 HP. After the explosive trap triggered, of course.
That's not a lot, but he still has an Ancient Watcher and another Sunfury Protector in his hand. He goes down to 14. I would say, if I were Strive Crow, thank you, Thur. More of this. And as I said, he can play, if he wants to, next Ancient Watcher and Sunfury Protector. I expect him to, well, maybe not do anything. To
What?
not give him any more card draw targets.
That's true. Makes sense.
And he actually ends turn.
Good job.
But what is Strifecrow going to do? Savannah High Main? Or is he going to launch the combo? I mean, he's on 23 HP. There's no need to rush. He could also just go for High Main and be like, yeah, chillax, everything is cool.
I think I would combo now.
You would combo now to just get more options in your hand?
Yeah, I want to draw the second kill command and then just go for the kill.
The most annoying thing is, you could do that if all your minions survive, but we see a Shadow Flame.
He picked Unleash the Hounds over Leroy, right? He had a Leroy in the tracking,
Yep,
so Leroy is out of the...
Leroy is
it's
out
not
of
an
the
option.
equation. Will
Okay.
never come again.
That's a poor Leroy. He could also wait.
Wow,
Okay.
that's good. And he gets a Stone Tusk Boar.
Oh, yeah.
That's quite a good amount of damage.
Phew.
He can't clear everything, and the good thing, if he clears everything, he denies all Shadow Flame targets. I mean, it doesn't matter, since there's an Ancient Watcher in the hand, plus Shadow Flame, plus a potential Molten Giant. So,
There's most definitely going to be a Molten Giant taunted.
a taunted Molten Giant and a Shadow Flamed Sunfury Protector, for example.
But it's he has a kill shot on his hand. Would you go for the 50-50 afterwards?
Well, there's no 50-50 if he Shadow Flames his Sunfury Protector, which he kind of needs to do, since
then you still have the Ancient.
Now he cannot play Ancient Watcher, Sunfury Protector.
And Shadow Flame, true. He's out of mana. Yeah, so there's nothing left. True. Oh, wow.
There's just 100% Molten Giant dice, and if he's not going for the Shadow Flame, well, there's way too much card draw incoming for Strifecrow.
Yes, yeah.
But I still see Strifecrow winning here. Even now, after this move, he can just Deadly Shot, as you say, use his passive, put out that Crocolisk, and next turn, well, damage. Just a big amount of.
Yeah, tons of damage, as Freak would say. And he's currently thinking about going for the Hyena with coin, or just going Crocolisk and Steady Shot.
So High Main incoming. And that's good. I mean, 6/5 minion. What are you going to do as a handlock? Are you going to throw Siphon Soul? Do it. You're just going to give him 2/2/2 minions. And that's 4 damage plus Houndmaster, 6 damage plus kill command. It would be 11 and with passive 13 damage overall. You can deal next turn if your enemy kills your Savannah High Main now. And it's not using a Soulfire to follow up.
Which is unlikely that he's going to Soulfire at this moment.
Well, it would be okay if you choose to.
There's still a Hellfire.
But as you say, he still has a Hellfire, but not... It would be perfect if he has enough mana to Siphon Soul Hellfire.
Yeah, but it's not... It's 10 mana, he has 9.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Nope.
And you have to think about, if I Soulfire something, I might lose my Alexstrasza. And you kind of want to have your Alexstrasza next turn if you're dropping down to 1 or 2 HP, and then you're like, yay, back to 15.
Yep. Siphon Soul, so he's back up to 15 now.
And Ancient Watcher, which would be good if he has another Shadow Flame deck. We don't know if he plays 2. You will find out on Tuesday or Monday when we throw out some deck lists in your face.
Wow, Jungle Panther as well. What the...
Yes, Jungle Panther, Tundra Rhino works perfectly at 4 damage in your face. If you draw him late game, Beast Mode. If you draw him early game, he can also just kill a 4/4 minion. So we counted.
what he like replaced it with.
We counted, and it's 13 damage possible now. Not enough to win, but enough to bring him down to 2 HP. Big question, is he going to go for a kill command? Oh, whoa. He just, that's okay. Just get all threats out of your way. As we said, no more Shadow Flame danger incoming. Brings him down to 7. Well, and Elias' answer might be Alexstrasza.
Yeah, it has to be Alexstrasza.
Soulfire. Then you lose your Jiraxis probably. Then you're
He has to
screwed.
Alexstrasza and just pray.
Yep.
Because the round afterwards, he can Lord Jiraxis again and then Soulfire. And he might actually be able to claw his way back.
You could also Hellfire, Soulfire, clear the board, be on 4 HP, and just cross your finger and hope your opponent has really nothing. But that's like the #1 super risky play. Your play absolutely safer, but I guess he needs to
Well,
take the 50-50 risk of soul firing, or that's just another 10 damage on the board.
Well, it doesn't... That way, you drop down to 4. With my play, you drop down to 5. And you have an Alexstrasza on the board.
You would drop down to 3 actually if he uses his passive too. Because you go up to 15, 10 damage on the board, 2 damage.
What? Jiraxis? Really?
Well, Jiraxis is possible. You can Jiraxis, Soulfire, and kill the Force 3 minion, for example, if you want to. And he loses his...
Wow, Hellfire.
It's good, for him at least.
What a
And he
god.
killed the beast, that's correct. Don't kill the Houndmaster, it's not a beast. Diminish the chance of a kill command incoming. It's actually looking good. Not as bad as it looked before for Elia again. He can kill the Houndmaster, for example, this turn now, and heal himself up with Alexstrasza.
Oh, Siphon Soulswell. Nice.
But I would cast, as you said before,
Alexstrasza first,
you
of
need to
course.
cast Alexstrasza to get an 8/8 minion out. Still, there's 8 damage potentially roaming around for Strife Crow, and he has a Hunter's Mark. So, yeah, you're still in danger somehow.
And he has a Siphon Soul. I think Elia is going to win this one.
Oh, it's going to be super close. I mean, 23 HP still for Strife Crow, and he has some options left. At least 1 kill command.
Oh.
There's Unleash Hunter's Mark. So he really doesn't want to die here.
There's still a buzzard in there, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, but you really want to get that 6 damage still on the board. I mean, that's 6, that's 8 damage you can do, and your enemy might be able to do 3 damage and summon a 6/6. But he would be down to 7. Just 4 more hits on your passive, and you actually win the game. So is he
So
going
close.
to Unleash? And now we see Unleash got nerfed, but it doesn't matter. Even before, it didn't matter as hard as people expected to. I mean, a lot of people think Hunter is dead.
What?
3 cost Unleash, Hunter is dead. You saw a lot of people going crazy sad mode about that Hunter change, but Hunter is still possible to play. You see it here, running, being alive, doing what it has to do. A lot of damage.
Siphon Soul, the 4/2.
And then kill the 2/3.
Yeah, and summon the Infernal.
6/6 Infernals are so annoying, especially if you can taunt them up. Still, he's down to 8.
I'm pretty sure I think he doesn't have any taunts left in his deck. Like, no Defender of Argus, no Substitute
There
Protector.
is the kill command. Just use his passive, end his turn, win next turn.
GG! Game
So-
over.
We were like, Elias gonna pull this off, but in the end, it looked extremely good for him. We have to say, he performed really well overall here, but this is straight looking for Strife Crow killing him next turn, and that's just the potential a Hunter has. 2 kill commands is 10 damage overall, so you're playing with 20 HP, and 20 HP is only 10 times his passive. So 30 damage is easily made, and he gets a hover to finish off. So
Wow.
he didn't even need the kill command.